So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another one of our 2025 webinar series. My name is Nick, and I'm the training specialist here at Tourism Saskatchewan. We offer these complimentary training webinars to assist our tourism operators and partners in advancing their knowledge and skills to grow and strengthen the province's tourism industry. As we begin, I would like to acknowledge we are joining today from different parts of the province, which is made up of Treaty 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10 territories, the gathering lands of the Indigenous people and the homeland of the Métis. We reaffirm our relationships with the Indigenous people of these territories to continue to build on reconciliation and to learn to move forward in our journey together. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see three little icons. One is the chat function and the other is the Q&A. So these functions are enabled. So if you do have any questions throughout the presentation, I ask that you either put them in the chat or the Q&A. We will hold all questions until the end of the presentation, at which time we will then answer those questions. The reason why we do this at the end is so that the bulk of the material and the presentation can be done. And if you have to drop off the call, you still got all of that good content from our great presenters today. So the presentation is being recorded. So the presentation can be sent out afterwards if you do need to follow up or would like a copy of it. So customer experience is the heart of brand loyalty. In a world where their customers' expectations are constantly evolving, businesses must go beyond transactions to create meaningful connections that drive long-term loyalty. This insightful webinar, Driving Customer Loyalty Through Customer Experience, is designed to explore the key elements that turn satisfied customers into loyal advocates. Our hosts today are Sam and Sienna. Sam is a seasoned leader with over 20 years experience in branding, marketing, customer experience, and strategic leadership in tourism, entertainment, and the financial sector. Born and raised in Regina, Sam has spent his career with both private and public sectors, establishing loyalty programs, maturing the market discipline, and guiding multiple branding efforts. Sienna, with over 15 years of experience in marketing and loyalty, Sienna has built a career on understanding guest motivations and designing experiences to inspire them to return. Her passion for the ever-evolving world of marketing, paired with curiosity about guest psychology, drives her innovative approach to transforming the guest experience. So I'd like to welcome Sam and Sienna.
Okay, we'll jump right into it here. All right, so today what we're going to do, we'll take you through a number of different options, a couple of different ideas for driving customer loyalty. If you guys are in the tourism, the entertainment industries kind of thing, Sienna's got a good background in customer loyalty. She'll be taking you through some of that and the programs. And I'm going to focus a little bit more on the customer experience and intentionally designing that. So listed on the screen is just how we're going to set that up, and we'll be happy to entertain any questions that you guys have at the end here. Right, so on to the next slide here. So just setting a little bit of a baseline here. So customer loyalty, as Nick kind of alluded to, the customer's willingness to repeatedly return. So we always want our customers to repeatedly return. Easier to keep existing customers, obviously, than continually finding new ones. And we're doing that through delightful experiences and the value they receive. So you can always think of customers as kind of moving through a few different cycles. They've kind of tried out your product once, they're a repeat customer, and then that ultimate goal is to really turn them into advocates for us at the end of the day. So it helps multiply your sales force. It gets the word out about your businesses. But there has to be a reason why that happens, and really that customer experience and customer loyalty is why they do that. Couple ideas here. So customer experience refers to the overall perception of customers have with your brand. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on that in the next few slides, but really separating the concept of customer experience from customer service. And I'll get into that in a moment. And then Sienna is going to hop in with our loyalty program. So it's a marketing approach that recognizes and rewards customers who purchase and engage with a brand on a recurring basis. I'm sure everybody's got about 5 loyalty cards in their wallet or their purse right now. So So that first point that I touched on, so customer experience is not customer service. So a lot of the time, it's a good to kind of set that base when people think about, oh yeah, that place had great customer service. It's just a portion of that overall customer experience. So when we look at customer service, it's usually reactive to a customer issue. It's usually based on a problem. Either customer had a complaint or they don't know how to do something, and it's the job of customer service to resolve that. There's direct interaction with usually some of your staff, and we measure that after the interaction. So, like I said, it's just part of a bigger customer experience. So when you think about that CX, you'll hear me mention that quite a bit today. It's about the whole experience that customer has with your brand, all the way from when they discover that you exist, all the way to purchasing your product. So it's very emotional driven. Everybody's got different thoughts and feelings about your brand, and it encompasses the full customer journey that I'll talk about a little bit later here as well. So the customer life cycle, or this is a little bit of touching on the customer journey. Customers usually go through about 5 stages. Some of them stop at 4, some of them stop at 3. But the first one, pretty self-explanatory. They become aware of your service or the product that you're offering. So they do that in a number of different ways. Then they consider purchasing. So they go through everybody goes through different stages of that. Some people do a lot of research. Others just jump into it, like me, impulse purchasers. The third, action or purchase. Fourth is retention and loyalty. And then fifth is really where we want to live at the end of the day, where your customers become advocates for you. So I'll just take you through a little bit more detail on some of those now. So the phases of that customer journey, you can kind of see how we kind of think about designing or setting the stage for designing some of these stages. So in terms of awareness, you can get that via radio, your traditional advertising, online ads, social ads, public relations, if you're into that. Customers then consider to purchase from you. So they do that in a number of ways as well. Customer reviews are very commonplace. I know I don't buy anything online without first reading 100 reviews on it. You could have your own blog. They could search different media coverage that's happened in the past, or direct mail that you can kind of send out for them as well. Purchase, you guys are all probably familiar with this, so they can do so through maybe a website or your contact center directly in your storefront, maybe at a different web shop, depending on what kind of business that you operate. And then moving into retention. So Sienna's going to touch on that loyalty program. That's one way to kind of keep customers coming back. You can continue to engage them though through a regular blog, a newsletter, constant contact with them, FAQs that they might have, and then purchase follow-ups as well. We're seeing online communities come open as well as people become advocates. We're seeing customers wanting to mediate and run communities about products that they're passionate about. And you guys would be able to tap into that depending on what kind of industry you're in. And then the advocacy. So that's that sweet spot. Usually that's in the form of word of mouth. We're all familiar with that. We're sitting around at dinner and somebody makes a positive mention of an experience that they had. Or social media is obviously becoming a little bit more common. Don't have to tell you guys about that through all the different channels. But when somebody goes out of their way to advocate for your brand, it's invaluable, right? They're getting a trusted message out to their friends and peers, and that carries so much more weight than just a standard radio ad or a TV commercial. So the next part of it, in intentionally designing this, is really understanding our customers. So a couple different points to consider here. So when we're designing experiences at the organization I work with, we work through customer personas. So it's a really good first step on who's coming through the door or who should be coming through the door of your business. So developing detailed profiles of your target audience, including their needs, their preferences, and pain points. And some of those items really directly tie into how you'll intentionally design what they're looking for at all stages of that customer journey that I talked about. So that journey mapping, so mapping out the entire customer journey from awareness to post-purchase, that's another key point. So you can start to apply that persona to that customer journey. Some of your customers may find out about you through a newspaper, more traditional media. Others are strictly online. So you want to make sure that you are where your customers are finding out about you. And then also essential is feedback collection. So in order to continuously improve, you need to continue to know about your customers, what if their needs and wants are maturing, and then direct communication to them to gather those kind of expectations and experiences. So those kind of three steps, the persona, the full journey for your business, and then feedback collection kind of helps you intentionally design that experience. So here's just a sample persona. So we've got some of the details that I would put into designing a persona. So we've got a nature enthusiast. Her name's Emily Carter. We get really detailed on this. So she's 28. She works in the environmental sector. She lives in Vancouver, probably Saskatchewan in this case. Her income, marital status. Some of the other things that I would put into this is what are her goals? So she wants to experience the natural beauty of and wildlife of Saskatchewan. So we need to make sure that we're fulfilling that at the end of the day. We also touch on challenges. So being eco-friendly is very, very important to Emily. So do we provide that? Making sure that we're really tailoring what we offer to what Emily is looking for at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be Emily, but you could break these into maybe you have 2 personas, maybe you have 3 personas for your business, but you really want to focus on how they buy, what they're looking for, and how they find you at the end of the day. So that's sample number 1. You can see what she's looking for. She's looking for a little bit of adventure, outdoor activities like hiking, canoeing, and to learn about Indigenous cultures and conservation efforts. So there's a little bit of a social angle there as well. We'll move on to persona number 2. So we have Mark Thompson. He's a little bit older. He's a high school teacher and he's married with 2 children. So from this, you can see a little bit of the difference in here. All his goal is to find family-friendly attractions and activities in Saskatchewan. And that second bullet point might be something that you want to key on, create memorable experiences for his children. So when you're actually fulfilling whatever your product is to them, you might actually want to target the children, and via them, you're winning over Mark Thompson, who's going to maybe come back to your business. His goal to balance relaxation and adventure during the vacation. So you can weave that into all of those different aspects of what you're offering to Mark in terms of a product development and in terms of how he's actually finding your business. So if I'd imagine being a father of 2, your time is a little bit more strained. So that's something that you might want to target. Make it very easy for him to do business with you. You guys take care of all the activities and stuff like that, and save him time and allow him to be the hero for his children and fulfilling that memorable experience. So just a couple of examples of personas there. You can have quite a few of those. You want to definitely hone in on who's coming through your door or who's providing the majority of your business. You don't want to over segment either. You'll find yourself kind of trying to be too many things to too many different people. So make sure you focus on 1, 2, 3 personas out of the gates and then maybe expand from that. So just going back to the journey, you can see, let's use Mark as an example. He would definitely go through these phases in a different way than our nature enthusiast, Emily, there. So in terms of awareness, he might hear about it from other friend or parent groups on, hey, we did this great activity with the kids. So he's moving through awareness differently than Emily, who may be searching or getting served online ads. Maybe her friends or different adventure groups might be telling her, hey, you got to try out this experience at the end of the day. Consideration is going to look different as well. They might be getting peer feedback from different sources, online reviews or different groups. And then purchase as well, as maybe Mark likes using the phone a little bit more and making sure that working out some of those details, whereas Emily, a little bit younger, skews a little bit to that digital presence. So you want to make sure that your website has all the information that you would have. And then you would design how you keep in touch with those people a little bit differently. So Emily's looking for adventure. Hey, you've got the adventure of the month that you could serve her up via a blog or a newsletter. Whereas Mark might be a little bit more of an infrequent customer just due to holidays or kids' activities or something like that. Maybe he can get away quarterly or every 6 months or something like that by the seasons. So you might want to feed him something on his schedule at the end of the day. And then when you're designing each element of the experience, so for example, making sure that you keep 3 general principles in mind as you go through each of those phases of the customer journey: awareness, retention, consideration. The first one, you want to make sure it's easy. That's a no-brainer, but if it's hard to do business with your organization, people are going to look for other options, especially if they're time strapped or they have a low patience like me. You want to make sure it's easy. Second, again, another no-brainer, but making sure it's effective. Why did they go to your website in the first place? Why did they try to find some reviews on your company? So making sure that it's easy, making sure it's effective, they're getting what they need at each stage of their journey. And then as a bonus, those two are kind of table stakes, emotional. So making sure we know that Mark was looking for memorable experiences for his kid. So you could kind of tease that right out of the gates when he becomes aware of your company as, hey, picture yourself with your kids. You've given them a memorable experience that they're talking about at family dinners for months to come, kind of thing. So little hooks that really appeal to the different personas that you've identified as your target customers. Same thing for Emily. Maybe a little bit more adventure focused. Everything's tailored to that. Feeling stuck in a rut? Hey, come check us out and we'll fulfill that adventure that you're looking for. So ease, effective, and make sure that you have some sort of emotional hook, because that's what's going to differentiate you from your competition. And then actually delivering the experience. So you can design it all you want, but you have to make sure that you're actually delivering it well. So you have to communicate this to all of your employees. I'm sure you all have training programs at the organizations that you run and work for. Proactive support. So again, that just goes into what questions is Mark going to ask? What questions are Emily? What questions could she ask? Making sure that you can do business with them however they want to be served. So that omnichannel experience is very key. So switching from phone to mobile, web, right in person in your shops, all of those are very harmonized, and they're working to complement whichever way that those target customers want to do business. And then timely delivery. So ensure that your products or services are delivered on time, as promised, and consistent. So after this, we talked a little bit about measuring and monitoring. Is we don't know what customers want unless we ask them. We could start with a basis on, maybe we know a few things based on some feedback that we've gotten before, but you really have to be intentional about this measuring and monitoring. So lots of easy little ways that you can integrate that into your businesses, whether that be post surveys, in the moment, right after consumption, anything that'll help you get some information on what your customers want. Also, just going back to the customer personas as well, is making sure that you're bringing people in and actually hearing from them directly. So surveys are fine, but nothing replaces some good in-person feedback sessions with some of your target customers. It allows you to ask some probing questions and really help design that experience. And then that final point there, so key performance indicators, you can scale this up and down as much as you want, but really it's good to keep a basis on what kind of things are important to your customers. Did we fulfill the adventure for you today? Did we provide what you were looking for in terms of great experience? So making sure you're measuring that throughout the customer lifetime cycle with you. So. And then optimizing and evolving. So going into that continuous improvement theme again, making sure you're acting on customer feedback. So separating what makes sense is what's an outlier versus a trend in terms of your customer feedback. Making sure you're not resting as well, as customers, especially in these industries, they want fresh, exciting content, and they want extra differentiated experiences in terms of what they're looking to engage in terms of their entertainment dollar. Anytime you can ingrain that technology, that helps as well. So AI is huge. You'll hear that, I'm sure, in future seminars. And anytime you can personalize any of those communication that you're sending out to them, always helps kind of reinforce that emotional connection with them. And then kind of summing up the whole theme is stay ahead of your competitors by introducing new features, services, and experience to delight consumers. So that talks a lot about the product in terms of innovation, but you can also differentiate yourself with just continued contact, is thanking people for their business. You probably do that already, but following up a month after is, hey, tell us how that adventure impacted your life. Did it change your perspective on everyday life? Getting a little bit deeper with customers. There's no worries about doing that as well. And a little bit more on that. So engagement, keeping them engaged throughout the process. So say they've purchased your product, you might want to send them something to get them excited, maybe a week out from their experience with your customer, so, or with your company. Reaching out after purchasing, I talked about that a little bit, and then loyalty and advocacy. So you can even incent customers to be your advocate as well, as, hey, leave us a positive review. Some of you guys maybe do that already, but kind of steering them towards becoming not just a customer, but becoming an advocate for you as well. Different ways to do that. So one of the big ways to keep them coming back and coming through your doors, loyalty programs, and Sienna's going to touch on that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sam. That was really, really good information. So now it's my turn to help support that customer experience knowledge that Sam was just speaking about with a super valuable tool, and that is loyalty programs. So Sam highlighted the importance of understanding your guests through their entire journey with your brand. Loyalty programs then enhance that experience by rewarding your most valuable customers and then potentially attracting those. But are they worth it? Do they work? Some people love loyalty programs, some people don't. Kind of which camp are you on? So hopefully by the end of this last half of the session, I can convince you that they're actually a really powerful tool for you. Recently, there's been a surge actually in the launch and revamp of loyalty programs. And this trend is really driven by increasing interest from consumers who are seeking those personalized deals and discounts. That's not only coming from the economic environment right now, it's tough, so people are wanting that deal, but they're also really heightened consumer expectations. So they know you're gathering data on them, so they're asking more of you to use that data appropriately. I actually recently read an article, Sam had mentioned that you probably have about 5, but I read an article that stated that an average of 19 program memberships per person in 2024 is what we're actually signed up for. 19 is a ton. That's the highest rate in the last 10 years. So they are working and people are interested in them. It's just if they're effective for you or not. I bet you guys can think of, yeah, those top 2 or 3. Maybe you've tried to convince some of your friends to sign up for your most favorite loyalty programs, which goes back to that positive word of mouth advocacy that Sam was chatting about. So this presents an exciting opportunity for your brand to boost consumer spending and loyalty if you do it correctly. There's lots of different ways that you can build a program, but it's important that you have your details structured and tailored to your customers to ensure that success. Because your customers are smart and they are fickle. So they'll smell if there's something that's not really authentic or it's not personalized. So then what are some of the advantages of loyalty programs for your brand? So they're a really fantastic way to encourage your customers to have higher customer spending, come more often, shop more often. By offering some rewards or incentives tied to those milestones, businesses can then boost their revenue and profitability, which would be the whole purpose of doing a loyalty program, right? But the program also then provides invaluable customer data for you. So you're getting information on maybe demographics or their preferences, some purchase behavior, engagement behavior. All of this data should then help you understand your customers. So then you can personalize that marketing, create some product improvements, and then you're making some smarter business decisions. So if you have all those smarter business decisions, then your guests should be happier, right? Which then creates the positive word of mouth and the brand advocacy that's creating those referrals or frequent shoppers, and then also bringing in new guests because you've got those glowing recommendations. A positive return on investment is something that you'll see if you have a really well-designed program, because you're increasing the retention of your customers, you're boosting their spending as well, and then you're creating that advocacy. Those benefits then outweigh the cost of implementing the program and even the rewards that you're offering them. Additionally, a loyalty program that offers those unique rewards or personalized experiences can set you apart from your competition. So you're attracting and retaining those people who are looking for something that's an added value or incentive for them. So if company A and B, you have a product that you like from both of them, they're quite similar, maybe their customer service is very similar, it's really great, but one is maybe offering something like a stamp card and you're getting a free coffee on your 5th visit instead of not a free coffee at all, who are you going to become a little bit more loyal to in the long run? So just quickly again, before moving on, what are the benefits? Increasing your customer retention, boosting some revenue for you, gathering invaluable customer data, encouraging that higher spending from your customers or your guests, and then creating a customer competitive advantage. So what is a loyalty program? Sam kind of already went over this, but it's very simply just a system that rewards repeat customers for their continued business. There's lots of different ways that you can do this. There's several different types. There's point-based programs, so that's earning points per dollar spent. Tiered programs where you're getting rewarded based on the levels of your spending or maybe your visits. Gamified programs, you're unlocking content by playing a game every once in a while. Subscription-based is paid memberships with a perk attached to it, and then very, very basic cashback or discounted programs. The ones you're going to see most often, though, are the tiered, gamified, and points-based, and often you'll see a combination of those in the bigger programs. So an example of tiered would be Sephora. You have your Insider, VIP, Rouge. The more you spend on your skincare or perfumes, the higher up and the more perks you're going to get. For gamified, Duolingo is a really good one. If you're practicing every day, you get streak rewards. Or with Nike, if you're completing workout challenges, you're unlocking new content and you're earning badges. For point-based programs, McDonald's is an obvious one. This is just you're accruing points through purchase or various actions. So the more you purchase, the more points you get, and then you can then redeem those points for maybe a free experience or free items or free content. It's going to be important, though, that when you're creating a loyalty program, that you should go beyond just the purchase activities that guests are doing with you. So that can be also a range of interactions. So let's say referrals for your company or social media engagement, or maybe you have a survey. Reward your guest or your customer for doing that for you. Making sure everything is personalized and curated and has an authentic recommendation is something that's going to really foster that loyalty and create an emotional connection. Time-saving, memorable experiences are very valuable for customers. You want to make sure you're making their lives easier and providing them with convenience and efficient experiences. Sam even said if it's really hard, if you're impatient, it's hard to sign up or it's hard to use your points, guests aren't going to become engaged into your loyalty program. And then try and demonstrate some core values and empathy. Demonstrating those cultivates the trust and emotional loyalty to your brand, and they'll be more connected to you for the long term. A couple of examples of really good loyalty programs out there is the Nike membership. It's a super comprehensive program. You can go in and take a peek if you want yourself, but it aims to enhance customers' experiences by offering unique and valuable perks that cater to their individual preference and their shopping behavior. So you could go on there and you could create your own shoe with your own colors. You could put your name on there if you want. You can have that personalized experience, but they also have maybe an app. They do have an app, and that really creates community. So they have rewards and badges. If you're working out, you're obtaining badges and you're reaching your fitness goals. So not only are they rewarding you and creating that connection based off of your purchase, they care about your health. So they're connecting with you on a different level other than just a monetary one. Starbucks Rewards is a super popular one. I love this one too. It's a very, very simple points-based loyalty program. So you're simply earning stars and redeeming them. You can redeem them and personalize any of your drinks. It tailors to your purchasing behaviors. They give you exclusive benefits like free drinks on your birthday or free refills on your brewed coffee or tea. All of these things are super simple for someone who has just signed up. It's very easy to use. And then they are also the omnichannel experience kings and queens. Like they are the most well-versed champions when it comes to an omnichannel, from their app to their customer-facing services and the website. Everything is very consistent, and you can find their brand consistency throughout all of them. Your customers should always be benefiting in your loyalty programs as well. So I know it's always business first. Are we making any money? But your customers really should be benefiting by having some sort of cost savings. Otherwise, why are they engaged into your loyalty program? Is there some sort of personalized experience for them? Is there an exclusive perk that they can't get anywhere, or a privilege just for them? Is it easy to use? Is it convenient for them to use? And then how does it enhance the customer service when they're visiting you face to face, maybe? So this all sounds great, but where do I start? So this kind of outlines a checklist for you. There's a lot of back work, a lot of homework that you need to do if you're going to be implementing a loyalty program, which I think you should. It's totally doable. So what are your objectives and your goals? You're going to really want to clearly define what you're going for. Is that simply getting new guests? Is it boosting lifetime value of your guests or your customers? Is it customer retention? Is it boosting just their purchases? And then who is your target audience? Sam spoke a lot about the persona building. That is a very, very, very important tool to be using. You need to understand who they are, what their preferences are, what their behavior is in order to design the program, because then what type of program are you going to want? If you know your guest, you can create the program that you're looking for, whether it be a tiered or a points-based, and then it also helps you create your rewards. So the rewards that you're picking, whether it be discounts, freebies, exclusive access, it's going to want to be something that you know that your guests or your customers really, truly want. An implementation plan is super important. You're going to want to outline all of your steps, timeline, resources, any technology needs. Are you getting a new app? Are you getting a new CRM system? Or is it simply just a quick punch card? Training everybody on what this program is going to look like and be able to answer any of those questions for anyone signing up. It's really important to know too that loyalty programs aren't something that you can just create or purchase a package or technology and press go and just let it go. It's something that continually needs monitoring and updating. So you'll want to make sure you have someone trained up on that programming. And then you're going to want to promote the heck out of that program. So ensure all of your touch points have maximum visibility and engagement for your guests, making sure your online platforms, or if you have some mobile apps in your physical stores, it's front and center so guests can see it and they can sign up. Doing your homework. I know, doing your homework is super important. Nobody likes homework. However, this will make your future self very, very happy if you put in the work beforehand. So making sure you do a comprehensive financial analysis, get all your stakeholders into a room and really invest that time to look at what the financial planning will look like to understand the potential benefits on the other side. So what are those direct costs? How much does that reward cost you every time? What do those discounts look like, or administrative discounts, administrative setups look like, or your technology needs? What is the best and worst case scenario of those? If everybody redeems that reward or uses that discount, how much is that going to cost you? If nobody does, what does that also look like? Calculating that ROI to make sure that there's a financial viability helps you in the long run so that you're not putting this out into the market, pulling it back, changing it frequently, because then your guests are just going to become really confused. Customer segmentation, identifying that target audience, and making sure you're continually analyzing those purchasing patterns and behaviors. Sam spoke about that customer journey, really following where your customers' pain points are throughout that whole journey and seeing if you can tackle it in your loyalty program as well. Competitive analysis is a really great way to benchmark yourself against competitors, or even just gather some ideas on how to create a loyalty program. Maybe there's not someone who's directly competitive with you in the market here. There might be someone across Canada. Call them up, say, how is this loyalty program working for you? How did you go about doing it? Is this something that I could be doing? People are generally really open when it comes to loyalty programs and trying to get other people on board. And then ensure you have some long-term sustainability. Make sure you can scale your program if you want. I would always start small and then scale up, because if you start giving the world to all of your guests and then all of a sudden you're retracting it, you're going to get people pretty frustrated with you. So the key elements to any loyalty program are obviously that it's easy to understand and use, even from right on the get-go of enrollment, earning and redeeming, avoiding any complex rules. This should be something that people can just sign up for, not even think about it, super easy to use and just fly. Personalization is really important on those rewards, that that their behavior and their individual preferences are being utilized back into the rewards. Guests and customers know that you have the data on them, so make sure you are using it in a great way. Seamless integration. So if you have any technology needs, make sure that it's going to work with your existing sales or your CRM system or an app that you have. The technology that you want to be using, you're going to want to make sure you took the time to make sure it's giving you that tracking behavior, the customer behavior and preferences that you're going to want to be using in the future. If you take that time right in the beginning, it'll help you choose the right program and then maintain it properly for the rest of your program's life. And then valuable rewards. Make sure you're offering incentives that customers care about and that actually speaks to them and offers some sort of meaning and a diverse rewards from the competition. And then communicate and promote. If you start your program, people are signing up and it's great, but then people maybe forget. So make sure you're using those regular reminders that you're there. It might just be for your rewards and offers, but it also just might be, hey, we're here, this is something new, or this is what we've been up to. Make sure you're using those emails to create those personalized messages and touch points for your customers. You can always use referrals as well. Encourage members to invite members for new customers. You can even reward those referrals. It's a very easy way to get some new signups. And then integrate omnichannel wherever you can. Anytime there's a touch point with your brand, ensure that your loyalty program is face first. So how do we measure success with loyalty programs? There's a lot of different ways, but I have listed a few here that you can use right off the get-go. New signups. Is your program growing? You can use that as a benchmark monthly, and then you can look at it quarterly and annually to see what your trend looks like over time. Customer retention rates, are they staying longer? Repeat purchase rates, average order values, is it increasing? Redemption rates is a really fun one. Are your rewards being used? What does that percentage look like? Are there unique people using it? So how many individual people are redeeming those rewards? Who's using them over and over again, if that's allowed? And then customer lifetime value. This is a longer term one, but over time, are your customers more loyal? It's also really important to highlight the non-financial benefits as well, so those intrinsic benefits. So things like higher user satisfaction or brand reputation, everything to do with a loyalty program isn't just on the purchasing side, it's also on the emotional side. You're going to want to make sure you're monitoring all of the time. So use those surveys, ask your customers for feedback, and then implement that feedback into your program. If you have any digital tracking, go ahead and use that for some KPIs. You can use emails or social media, things like click-through rates or engagement on socials like likes and shares can be used to see how you're doing. So to wrap it up a little bit here, you really want to be focusing on understanding your audience and setting achievable goals, making it very, very simple for everyone to sign up, and promoting the exclusivity of your program. Measuring the success is key so that you're growing at all points of the process. And then the experience and emotional connection. Make sure that there is something there. If you have that emotional connection, if there is something fun or new for them to do experience-wise, they are that much more tied to your brand. Do not overcomplicate. That is the quickest way to lose your guests or your customers. If it's too hard to use, they're going to get frustrated and just drop off quickly. Don't forget about the communication or ignore your loyal customers. They are there for a reason. Cherish them. Using a one-size-fits-all approach is never going to work. They know you have the data, so use it. Make sure it looks personalized and it has some sort of feeling to it. And don't forget about expiration dates. That just comes from experience. If you're doing an offer or a coupon, just make sure there is an end date on there, or that will come back to haunt you forever and ever, or it will make your costs super, super high. And again, do your homework. Don't make it too costly. Make sure you did all of the work on the forefront. and that you're talking to your stakeholders and you ensure that you know what all of your costs are upfront. So to close, why is a loyalty program a tool that you should be using? They're essential for boosting that customer retention and transaction frequency. By providing rewards and incentives, you can motivate your customers to favor your brand, thus resulting in ongoing engagement and loyalty. Then you can upsell or you can cross-sell by leveraging that data and their purchase history. You can recommend maybe some complementary products or upgrades. You can facilitate growth in their customer lifetime cycle, increase average order values and product portfolios expansions. The programs also provide you that valuable feedback platform, encouraging customers to provide you with some reviews or ratings or participate in some of your surveys. You can gather insights for your product and your services or customer experience improvements. This not only enhances your customer lifetime cycle, but it also boosts your brand reputation and the positive word of mouth marketing, turning your occasional shoppers into brand advocates. Ultimately, this long-term value of a loyalty program is immense, in my opinion. It strengthens customer relationships, and when it's super well executed, it's not just an expense, it's a long-term investment in your business's success. So thank you for your attention while I just threw a ton of loyalty program information at you, and hopefully you can leverage some of that advice as you create your own loyalty program to drive your business forward. Thanks.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Sienna and Sam. So this is just the time for questions. If anybody does have any questions, feel free to either drop them in the chat or in the Q&A function, and we can ask them from there. But thanks so much, guys, again, for all of that knowledge, and that is a lot. When you talk about 19 essentially like loyalty cards, I was like going through my phone going, oh my God, how many fast food apps do I have? How many hotel apps do I have? If gas station apps, that so rings true to me. So I know it's kind of hard just trying to figure out what's the best ones to use and move forward from there to try and keep it simple, even for myself. Again, if there are any questions, feel free, pop them in that chat or into the Q&A, and we will get them asked. I do have one, and I think this might go over to Sam here. When you talked about those personas, how does a company build that persona? What does that look like? What is, I'm going to say kind of that journey, like how does a company go into doing that?
Yeah, first you have to know, I guess, who, if you have a good basis of knowledge on who your existing customers are, it's a little bit easier. You might have to observe though, just right out of the gate, as you might not know who's actually paying the bills at the end of the day or who's walking through your door. So the first step is really data collection, and that doesn't have to be perfect. Don't need a monstrous survey or something like that. Is just keeping track, as anything's better than nothing in terms of data. So don't let perfection kind of stop you from jumping into that. But basically figuring out who your customer currently is. Do you think there's an opportunity to grow? My product would appeal to this demo well, and then get out there and maybe get a few together. Let them come try out your product, all that way from, hey, try to figure out how to find us on the web, first of all. Did you get all your questions answered and stuff like that? And then be intentional about designing, as they might identify 4 pain points or something that you could improve, and go to town on designing those improvements. So
Perfect. Thanks so much. And then how long should a company look at collecting data for when we think about that persona and what you've just talked about? Is a 6-month period good? Is it going for a year? Is it shorter? What's the best knowledge you can give to us on that?
Sienna's going to tell me forever. I think she had a slide in there.
Yeah, I just started laughing, thinking.
I think you just need a base number kind of thing. So if you have it depends on your confidence. If, hey, all the people that are coming through my door are Emily's versus Mark's, it's not a family kind of product or something like that, then jump out there. You get, say, 10 or 5, whatever. Get started and then continuously update. So this is, it can almost be part of regular business operations on, this is what I think this persona is looking for, but continuing to add on that, verify it, and then iterate on that as well. So it kind of never stops, but it should be a very key pillar in kind of knowing your customer and what they want at the end of the day.
Perfect. Thanks for that. And then this one's going to go over to Sienna. When you talked about loyalty programs, or you talked about points-based, cashback, tier, things like that, do you see one being used more favorably than the other? I know that you talked about the top three there. Is there one that you just see that is kind of better than the other, or more companies or more people are more attracted to?
For sure, the points-based ones are the easiest to start with for sure, because it's very simple for people to understand. If I do X, then I will get Y, and this is how I use Y, right? So definitely the points-based one is what I would say. But then tiered gives you that motivational aspiration for more perks or better perks or those experiences. So that would be a very close second, because I like the reach aspect of the tiers. So points to start with for sure, I'd say is the most popular, but then that tiered one is right behind it.
Perfect. I mean, just as a person of myself, yeah, I have, you know, as an example, I've got PC points. I love collecting, so I try to make sure that's where my loyalty stays. And then that tiered one, I've got 2 dogs, so PetSmart, you know, I want to reach that top tier, got to spend, but then I get that, you know, points back. So yeah, 100% I can see where those would be the top prime ones. Perfect. Does anyone else have any other questions or anything that anybody would like to ask? If not, on screen, you can see our upcoming training. So again, we do have lots of more webinars coming up. There's another one tomorrow. We have a panel discussion on Thursday, and then into next week as well. And we do have that workshop. Is your website working for you? So the workshop is a $30 cost, and we can have your website kind of looked at as well. So if you go to our business hub, you will be able to see all of those trainings there, and be able to see what more we have offering. So just a comment of, this has been a really great session. I just want to say thank you for the webinar today, Sienna and Sam. Perfect. So that concludes our webinar for today. Thank you everyone for attending. We do really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to join us for another webinar series. That concludes it, and we hope to see you again next time on another webinar. So again, thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sienna, for all your great knowledge. And hopefully we can see another loyalty program popping up, and I'm a sucker for them. So hopefully I can join one more. Why not, right? So thanks everyone for joining, and take care, and we'll see you again.